Working, just checking.
Okay, guys. So can we go ahead and start by introducing yourself, where you're from, when you became an active agent, and how many transactions you've closed?
Hi, I'm Trisha Reiki. I'm born and raised Zillow girl. To date, 24.
When did you start?
Oh, sorry. I started September of last year.
Hi, I'm Alexis Turla. I'm from Seattle, I'm a Big Island. I started in June of 2024. To date, I've closed 30 transactions.
I'm Summer Hoffman. I moved here from the mainland, doesn't really matter where, does it? 2023, got licensed in August of 2023, and sold my first house, which was my own house, and then last year 4 transactions, this year 27, so I finally figured it out.
Hey guys, I'm Peter Prentice, here, born and raised on the Big Island, grew up in Ka'u, and then up in South Kohala. Started real estate last year. October is kind of when I started taking it seriously. And then I sold my first one in December. And this year I'm at 22 transactions.
You guys can see why we're all up here, right? That is some major transactions. I think mine was 12 when I was on the panel last year, so that is really good numbers. Summer, you said that you only closed 4. Am I doing it wrong? Oh, you only closed 4 your first year, 2023. What shifted in from 2023 to 2025?
I decided to be a full-time real estate agent versus part-time. I also just kind of embraced my socially awkward self and just thought, just go for it. Just, don't be somebody that you're not. And then in late 2024, Dylan introduced Follow-Up Boss, and that was super game-changing. So whether you're an introvert, socially awkward, or an extrovert, it really kind of levels the playing field. So it really made a big difference.
Nice. Can you guys tell us a little bit about your journey and why you decided to become a real estate agent?
I can start. So I grew up, and my mom and dad were both in real estate down in. They had a little real estate office called South Point Properties. So I grew up around it, and then my dad was a builder, and I was kind of resistant to doing real estate. I was in science. I wanted to do science, and then later I wanted to do education. But I kept kind of like coming back towards like elements of the house. I started doing landscaping business, had a property management business, all these things. Eventually I became a handyman, and I got injured when I was at work once. And I had a 1-year-old kid, and all of a sudden, 0 income. And like my wife, she stood up, and she started making money for the family. We needed whatever we could do, but at that point, I realized I can't rely on my body to make money. Like I needed to use my brain, I needed to work smarter, and right around that time, I saw a 50% off CE course. I can do this at night, I can do this when everyone's asleep, like I can make this happen, and took the class, and luckily I had a friend who was on the team, and she just told me, I didn't even look anywhere else, so I just kind of like lucked out, and I ended here, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Well, when I moved here in 2023, I bought a house, and I had a miserable neighbor. And with that, I got my license to sell my house, and other families to not have the same. I also just wanted to share a quick story for any of you that are here at Level Up for the first time. My first time, I sat in my car at lunch and cried because I didn't think that I could do it. I would never have thought that I would be sitting here today. And Andrew, I always like to say, you gave that hug that just made the world to me. So just in saying that, if anybody's here, you never know what somebody else is going through. So that hug means the world to them.
I was a freshly stay-at-home mom with a 6-month-old, and we went from having, I want to say 2 incomes, but it was more like 1.5, because I was part-time doing nails. So I was freshly stay-at-home mom, the 6-month-old, 3 kids. We went to one income, and it was hard. It was so hard. And I was just trying to figure out, how can I have my husband not work 2 weeks in a row without taking a day off? And real estate was that message.
Most of my career was in government, so state and county. And my 6-year-old was now from preschool getting into regular school, and they just have some weird schedules at kindergarten. And every time I would ask for time off, I would get, instead of taking the whole day, you can take from the morning to lunch and come back. And I said, this sucks. I want flexibility. I want to be there for her with all of her things, going on in school, in sports. So I actually started looking into real estate. And then that person, Natasha, shows up at baseball practice with an EXP shirt, and I'm like, wait, what? And so I started talking to her about it, and then I started avoiding her at practice. Every single day she would ask, did you pass, did you pass, did you pass? And then I finally passed, and she's like, confident. And here I am. And we keep doing that.
Do you have any regrets?
I wish I started sooner. But I think it's divine timing, right? I think timing is everything. I looked into real estate 10 years ago. So in total, for the past 10 years, I purchased 3 pre-licensing courses. Those 2 didn't happen, but I got, 10 extra years with the county. And then talked to Dylan, he told me about Kamalani's class, that was in person in Kona. Did the drive, did the classes, took the test. I think my regret would be still starting sooner.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your guys' first year? And how did you overcome it?
I think at first, I'm kind of a nerd, so I want to know everything. And I want to know it in deep, we're very detailed, right? So at first, you don't know anything. You take the class, they don't teach you anything about real estate. And then you just get thrown out there. And if I was by myself, I don't know what I would have done, but surrounded by people that know what they're doing, with the resources of EXP and the team and meetings and all that, and mentorship, having an awesome mentor that I could call at 6:30 on a Sunday and be like, hey, this deal's gonna, go to the trash, just not knowing what to do, but having all the resources around me to be able to get there.
I would have to say balance. The first year I tried to balance multiple careers, which didn't go very well. And I just had always had to take care of somebody else and not take care of anything that I wanted to do. So it was just making that decision to just go for it, have the confidence to put it all out there and try and be successful at it.
And I knew how to treat real estate like an actual business, like it's a 9-to-5. It was so easy for me to just look at my debt next to my desk or go play with my kids. And the moment I started treating it like a business and showing up for my business, I really saw a huge shift in my productivity.
It would be time management, where you have a 7 o'clock meeting, 12 o'clock showing in HPP, Tori gets on the school at 1:30, and you have another showing at 4, but you have to pick up her Pomone packet for the week, and then don't forget baseball practice, right? So fine-tuning my system with time management gave me the freedom that, I got into real estate for the freedom. So figuring that out has been my biggest challenge, and we're still working through it. Monica just got my headshot last night at 11:30. It's a work in progress. It's okay. We'll get there.
So funny. Well, one big thing is turning it off, right? I feel like that was the hardest for me my first year, is turning it off. I'm on all day, all night, and my poor kids are trying to figure out dinner. So balance is a big one. whether it's working or lying in bed or actually just turning it off.
But it's the kind of job that like, there's always something you can do to either make your business better or like be talking to somebody or following up, like, and you can schedule text to go at 8 a.m. the next morning, so you could do it anytime you want, right? So it's like, yeah, how do you turn it off? You just have to be like intentional about it.
Yeah, I'm still learning, guys. I haven't learned that one, but teach me, Peter. I know his phone is off at 8. I tried calling him like, sorry, it's dinner. What is your favorite way to lead generate?
Zillow. Because that, you just answer, and then you get an RTT, and it's either you can do it or you can't. Open house is huge. Being on this team, we have, our Google chat. Summer puts it in there. She got a lead that's wanting to look in, the Hilo side. Next thing you know, that turns into 2 leads. Of course, referral base. You work one client, they tell their friends and family, next thing you know, somebody else is calling you. But I think Zillow, number 1, and then open houses.
Zillow, and then I partner a lot with people like Josie, Sierra, these people around me who will send stuff my way when you can't show. Partnering with other agents and Zillow.
Zillow, Follow Up Boss, and collaboration. I mean, without each other, it's just so much more fun together. That's all I can say. And Follow Up Boss has led to lead generation as well as collaboration. So.
Yeah, as a new agent, really bad at lead gen. I barely have any organic leads. It's all Zillow. The few organic things that I did get, and I really encourage people to do this, is find someone who's better than you and listing a property and see if you can just do all the work for them for no pay and take calls. And the calls come in, and that's a very interesting way to get leads, I would say.
Summer, you mentioned that Follow Boss is like your favorite. That's what you did the whole 2024, 2025. Can you share, like, some people probably don't even know what Follow Up Boss is. Can you share a little bit about it and how you implemented that in the business?
Sure, Follow Up Boss is about, well, let's say I started with like 5 or 8 people in my sphere and that was it. Thanks to Zillow and Follow Up Boss, I have about 500 now. So it just really keeps me organized. It helps to build relationships. That's the most important thing. I mean, I have a couple clients where we have like 1,000 text messages back to each other, and I consider them friends and family. So it's just, again, it helps with the organization. And every morning, before I get on social media, before I check my emails, Follow Up Boss is the first thing I get on.
Thank you. Can you share, Peter, some daily or weekly habits that you implemented to become as successful as you were? Did you just like wake up, click your sign, or like did you have like a plan?
I was thinking about this like over the last few days and explaining it to my wife, who was like huge support, and she came up with this acronym. It was ACE, because I told her that I just try to be available like all the time. So they were talking a little bit about like first years, like going to war and kind of like burning out or whatever, but being available for people, like I'll go and see a property with you and see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sure, that sounds good. Like let's do it. I live an hour and a half away, no big deal. Like always be available, and then C with being consistent. So just like waking up and like being on Follow-Up Boss, right? And just being there from 8 to 4 every single day. And then more when everything's over because you're not organized enough to do it all in one day. And then the last one would be, and really important I think, was engagement. So like just being engaged in the team, like being on the meetings, turning your screen on, talking to people, making connections, and all that like really helped. But like, yeah, like I try to make time with my family first thing in the morning. Like when I'll wake up, do my thing, everyone wakes up, spend a little bit of time, and then I'm back in it. And that's kind of how I keep it. Yeah. nothing too, out of the ordinary, I guess.
Alexis, you almost didn't join the team.
No, I almost didn't join the team. I had a neighbor who had me sit in on the currency meetings the day before I told Latasha, hey, I don't know if I'm going to go with agency meeting or agency at all. And she said, okay, I totally get it, but you should just come to our Wednesday meeting. I came to the Wednesday meeting, I listened to Dylan talk, I listened to the culture and the scene, and I texted my neighbor, I was like, okay, it's not going to work. I have to be here. This is where I belong, and I am so thankful every single day that Latasha did not say that.
I told Dylan, I was like, Dylan, I don't think she's coming. He was, it's okay, she'll be back. If you guys could leave a piece of advice with an agent in this room, or 3 pieces of advice, what would it be?
Join AXP. Join the agency team. And just show up for yourself, show up for your business. And that way.
My advice would be to answer your phone, be available, set boundaries and expectations with yourself and your clients, and keep asking questions. Just because somebody says no, don't listen. Because every situation is different, right? So you can ask an agent or a broker this particular question, X, Y, and Z, and somebody else will have a totally different view on it. And guess what? The deal goes through. So keep asking questions.
I would say embrace all the opportunities that this team has to offer. Answer the phone. Be kind. I treat my $10,000 OKB lots the same as I would $2 million Waikoloa. They're all the same. They're equally as important, and they all deserve my respect. And then lastly, do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do it, do it. It builds trust, and it builds relationship. And
I think just running the play, like someone has already designed, built, and maintained this like bridge that carries you across the gulches. Like you could, if you want, to walk down to the bottom and hike back up with a machete, and you still get to the other side. Just go across the bridge. Go across the bridge, and along the way, like be a person to your clients. Like there are people, you're people. I like to pepper in like little, like personal things of my life when I'm talking to people, and they, I think, maybe trust me more. So yeah, that's what I would advise.
I guess we can end it with this. Would you guys like to share what your goal is? You guys crushed 2025. What is your goal for 2026? Or just one goal, Trisha? No, just kidding.
One goal, I'll keep it simple. Post on my Instagram. If you look at my Instagram, you can thank Rowena, because that's her post. I didn't post anything. I don't know. Social media takes a lot, and so we've been, kind of talking about this morning, but that would be my post, to be active on my social platforms. I guess one goal for 2026 would be to keep doing what we're doing in 2025 right now. Nothing big.
say my goals out loud, and I thought it would be pretty great.
Let's go.
I want to get a system in place to be able to double what I'm doing the same amount of time.
Peter, with that note, what would that look like? Like, would that mean you would have to hire help or get your wife on board?
I think that, learning to delegate and learning to figure out how I can do my job better just as a solo agent or whatever, implementing those, try to make it more efficient. Yeah, just be more efficient with my time and certain things I'm the only person that can do. So like just get better at doing those really well. And if there's things that maybe I can hand off to other people, and still obviously keep my eyes and hands kind of in it, but like delegate those tasks. Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing all your tips. Thank you. Let's give them a big hand because 20 plus transactions in 1 year is huge. Like the average agent sells 1 to 5 Dylan. So that's pretty huge. And I'm super proud of all of you guys that, you accomplished so much this year. So keep killing it. You see what it's possible. Now let's go be unstoppable, guys.
I just want to say one thing is like last year, I was so inspired by Level Up and this panel, and I saw Paul, and he did 16 transactions, and I was like, I want to be Paul. I didn't know I wanted to be up here, but I wanted to be Paul. Yeah. Just thought I'd say that.
We got like 10 minutes. You guys have any questions for this group? And like your hand should shoot up. That's yes. Jason, what you got?
What's the one thing that you wish you did sooner? You're on the spot.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
When I came on, we had KV Core, right? And KV Core was very old school, clunky. And then we launched Follow Up Boss. That CRM is on point. So if we had the opportunity to do Follow Up Boss sooner, I think a lot of our struggles with agents would have been streamlined because that CRM is on point.
Sorry, just a follow-up. A follow-up, what about it that you find to be so remarkable?
Follow Up Boss, it just manages everything. It records your calls, it keeps track of your one client who has 15 houses that they want to see all in one day. Everything is right there. So from the MLS number to your notes to your texts, it's literally user-friendly, where everything is on one platform and you're just clicking buttons to do what you need to do.
For me, Bill this year was Leo Robles, and he talked to us about how to train your chat GPT. And I know a lot of us went home, I did too, and weeks went by, and I was like, and then finally I did it. It was 25 questions. I put in the answers, and from that, it helped me to generate newsletters. So I send newsletters all the time, valuable newsletters, and I turn those also into text messages. So one of the most responses I get is from the Aloha Friday. It has nothing to do with real estate. It's just saying, Aloha Friday, hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'm always astonished at how many people reply. So the text messages, they really do work. And if anybody still has that from Leo, use it. And I put a QR code if anyone wants me to share it too, because it really does work and it just makes our life so much easier.
Yeah, just copying on what she said, like, I think there's a certain element of automation that happens through Bub. And like, I want to be a little bit more, I want to get in on that because there's a lot that can be done, even though the personal touch is important, like having automation is good too, if you want to go with it. Yeah.
Yes.
What is the most profitable lead source your first year?
Zillow.
Zillow too. And one thing I forgot to speak about when it comes to Zillow is Zillow is a gift from the team. So take that gift. I know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want that gift, but take that gift from the team, run with it. Yes, you have to pay a commission. Would they have called us? No. In getting that gift, share that gift with your team members. It's so much more fun to share it and collaborate and do it together. So if you have the opportunity, reach out to a team member and collaborate together.
Yeah, those Zillow leads, they're a team lead, right? And I just really, really treat it like it with a sense of urgency. Like these people are calling in, they want service, they want it fast, they want to know local information, and they want you to be like following up with them. So like treating it with a sense of urgency is, I think, really helped. And even if that might have meant like doing it when I should have been doing other things, but yeah.
I had one person from my sphere of influence contact me about purchasing a house. One out of the entire 30 that I've done. Everything else came from Zillow, and from Zillow, had little Zillow babies that I got referrals from those people. So Zillow was a huge source, and it's such a blessing that you don't have to pay for it up front. You pay it at closing, it's great, it's life-changing.
It's just like an awesome way to get experience, right? Like in a year, you do, like if you did 20 transactions, you also did another 20, at least purchase contracts that didn't happen, and then there are 10 that fell through. And like all the negotiations all the time, like that was just like so huge, and like, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, how did you learn the ALM the fastest way? You guys do, I mean, they say script work, being a mirror. What's the fastest way you just absorb that?
The lady in the
That
back
play
of
with
you.
Dylan.
Monica.
Yeah, I took the script and I literally just taped it on my door. And every time someone would call, I was just like, "Hi, this is Peter Bennett." You know? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I have one on my binder too.
In the front.
My question is for Tricia, because you said that you can ask many people and they'll give you different answers. So I've asked a handful of people in here, not a handful, but how did you transition from your 9 to 5, and how long did it take, and what did you do to transition out?
Did everybody hear that question? It's a good question. You good? How did she transition from her 9 to 5? This is very good because it's faces, a lot of people face this.
I'm a 1 month agent. I work a full-time job, and that's my challenge.
This is a funny story. So I was working for the police station, and the police station, they have like their own rules. You have the county rules and everybody has rules, right? So I had to ask permission to become an agent.
Hey, don't say too much, the mayor is coming next, you know. That's what we're waiting for, is the mayor, you guys.
So I needed to ask permission to advertise my name, right? And working at the police station, you can't break the law. Real estate laws, I'm not advertising my name. So my appeal got denied 3 times. I went to lunch, and it was like a Wednesday meeting that we had that Tasha was telling me to jump on, and Monica announced that she was doing a Zillow boot camp that following week. So I'm sitting there, and I just got licensed. My job is telling me no, and it's a secure job, my benefits, my salary, but I can't do it. So then I walked back into my office and I packed up and I quit that day. Literally, I have to make it work because I didn't have that secure blanket anymore. I have, she's 6 now, but she's still very expensive. So and for me, it was, I wanted to find that flexibility, that freedom, but to also provide something for my daughter, right? Being on our team, you can't fail. Honestly, you cannot fail. So after we did our Zillow boot camp, we practiced our ALM. Next thing you know, I'm closing my deal, I want to say it was November 13th, and then my second deal was November 15th. So within 2 months, I was getting paid, making more than my monthly salary.
And with that question, me and Trisha had a lot of conversation about this, right? And she's like, but it's security, right? I get a paycheck. I said, sis, how much are you going to make if you close one house? Will that cover your 2 months of not working, right? And we had this conversation over and over again, and it's a leap of faith, right? It's like, I know it's scary, but working for someone for the rest of your life is more scary. So if you think about it like that, right? It's like you could definitely take that leap of faith and be like, hey, God, I'm trusting you. I don't know how I'm going to get paid. No. But what you could get paid exceed what you made in a year, you know? So that 1 month of faith could be 30,000, it could be 3, but the freedom of being available for your kids and being available for your family is so much more worth it than working 40 hours a week. I mean, you're still working 40 hours a week, but you're working for yourself.
And then some, more than 40 hours until you figure it out.
Probably time for one more.
Since you're doing so many deals now, like, are you now hiring assistants to help with that?
I don't, because I'm Portuguese and have OCD. I need to know what's going on from the start to the finish. So I see the benefit and the potential of, you know, virtual assistants, but I'm not at that level just yet. I think that's definitely in my future with the potential that our team supports us with, but as of right now, no.
What about transaction coordinator?
I actually jumped in the TC team because I needed to learn, because I'm OCD. I wanted to know the back office and how that works and how that integrates with SkyScope and what's the importance of that. So before I joined the TC team and tried to manage my own transactions, I definitely used our TC team. Where's Rowena? Ro has taught me so much because having a very knowledgeable and experienced TC goes hand in hand with a good agent. Because at times it's just you two up at midnight trying to figure out this deal. She has experience, I have experience, that works. So besides like our TC team, that's kind of the extent of my hiring knowledge.
No. No, I agree we need to start using TC. I do a lot of TC work for some other agents, but I don't use a virtual assistant. It might help though.
I mean, just the TC team that comes with like the Zillow Flex program, you use it and like it. I mean, that frees up so much more time, and I'm learning that I want to actually do that even on the sales side of things. If I'm listing, you know, or I have a contract that needs to be written and I can out doing showings, like I think it's really a huge benefit, you know. TC is where it's at. Virtual assistant maybe someday, yeah.
Definitely Kyla and her team couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Dylan always talks about abundance mindset. And so with that, I've talked about collaborating. So divvying up that responsibility with other teammates it's also a good sounding board too. So like, you know, you're questioning something, you've got somebody to call and you can kind of bounce ideas off of, so.
Okay, let's give her a round of applause.